It is camp at Kol Ami, so I'm going to start with a story. There was a rabbi. I know you're shocked at the beginning of this story. There was a rabbi, and that rabbi had a best friend. And that best friend, though you may not know it from me, was not also a rabbi. That best friend made soap. It was the rabbi and his best friend, the soap maker. And every day, the rabbi and the soap maker, this is a job. This was a real job once upon a time. It still is, but we don't talk about it so much. Go with me. The rabbi and the soap maker used to walk. Every day, they took their afternoon constitutional. They would walk around the neighborhood and talk about what was going on in their work, and you'd be shocked, but they were both very interested in one another's work. One day they were walking, and the soap maker was having a very bad day. And the soap maker turned to the rabbi and said, "What is it with this religion thing?" The rabbi thought, "We've been going on this walk every day for years. Now he asks this question." He says, "Rabbi, what's with this religion thing? You preach and you talk and you teach, and it's all about making the world a better place and God and the spirit and the soul and how we treat one another and blah, blah, blah. Have you looked around at the world lately? Have you noticed nobody seems to be doing any of those things? The world is a terrible place." And as the rabbi was wont to do, didn't answer the soap maker right away. His hands were behind his back. He was strolling and clearly pondering. And his head was down, and thank goodness he had very good reflexes, because at that moment a ball came flying across the path, and the rabbi caught it before it hit him in the face. And he looked at the ball, and out came a kid. A little girl was playing with a ball. He threw it back to the girl. He had very good hand-eye coordination. This is not true of all rabbis. And he threw it back to the girl, and she ran away. And the rabbi says to the soap maker, "Did you see that little girl?" And he said, "Yeah, what about her?" And the rabbi goes, "So what's with this soap thing? So you tell me soap is supposed to clean, is supposed to make us shine, is supposed to make us smell good. Did you see that little girl? She's been rolling in the dirt all day. What the heck is with this soap thing? There are dirty children everywhere." The soap maker says, hey, now wait a second. In order for soap to work, you have to actually use it. I just make the soap. I can't make people use it. And the rabbi said, "Oh, well, there's your answer. It's the same thing with religion. I can just teach about it. I can just tell you about it, but you have to use it. People have to use it, to learn it, to hold it in their own hands, and to make the world a better place. It doesn't just happen. It's just like soap. It's just like soap." It's my favorite punchline of any story. Now you can go out and you can ask them, "Have you heard the one about how religion is like soap?" So, in the spirit of this story, in the spirit of taking our religion not just as a thing to listen to, but a thing to hold in our own hands, we're going to take one little nugget of wisdom from our tradition this Shabbat, and my challenge is for each of us to do our best to use it. Oh, we like homework. I've got a taker over here. So a prayer that we didn't actually sing this evening, but a prayer in our Shabbat liturgy, our Shabbat prayers, is Vishamru. And in Vishamru, the third line is where we're focusing, and maybe we can actually sing it together. We can hear it. But in Vishamru, the third line says, "Uvayom hashvi'i shavat vayinafash," which we usually translate to something along the lines of, on the seventh day, God rested and was restored, or was refreshed, sometimes we say. And we, Jews in the world, we believe we were made in God's image. And so we become like God on Shabbat, and we say we should rest and we should be restored. Now there's two words we use, shavat and vayinafash. Shavat is the first word, and it means to rest. You might already be very good at this one. So maybe you're not, but some of us are already very good at this one. Shavat, it means to rest, to unplug, right? To turn off. This is usually what we think about when we think about Shabbat rest, Shavat. But the second word, vayinafash, I argue means something deeper than to be restored or refreshed. We're going to do a little Hebrew here. The Hebrew root for vayinafash, you can hear it in there, the word nefesh. Right? If you know any Hebrew, some synagogue Hebrew, nefesh means soul or breath. And our soul, so vayinafash, what if it means to be re-souled? Not S-O-L-D, S-O-U-L-E-D, I'm hearing it. What if it means to rest and be re-souled? Well, you might be thinking to yourself, Rabbi, that's great, but what the heck does that mean? How do I do that? You told me my homework was to do the thing we're talking about. How do I do that? Well, the rabbis taught that on Shabbat, we receive an extra soul to carry with us for these 25-ish hours. And actually, that's why we're told we light 2 Shabbat candles to represent one of the reasons why we're told, to represent the 2 souls that we carry on Shabbat. And that's what brings us closer to God on this holiest day of every week. But I think there's more to re-souling than this. It's about being a complement to rest. If rest is to unplug and turn off, re-souling is to recharge and plug in. If our Shabbat only consists of going home to take a nap, hopefully you'll feel refreshed, but will you feel re-souled? I think re-souling is about plugging in. It's about being together. Maybe it's plugging in here. You're all here, so guess what? You're doing it. But maybe it's about charging in nature, right? Maybe it's about taking a hike. Maybe it's about reading a good book or finding that one website that tells you the good news of the day, because I recommend that too. There are a lot of good dog videos out there, people. Each Shabbat, we are meant to take this moment to re-soul, not just to rest. We nourish our spirits. We take a cleansing breath. Especially right now, our world is really hard. Our lives are really hard. Each one of us has challenges and struggles. And especially right now, as Rabbi Fenster taught last week, we do not dwell in the depths of sorrow forever. Our calendar teaches us that after those 3 weeks, last week was Shabbat Nachamu, the Shabbat of comfort. And now we are on the way up. We are on the way up out of despair into Elul, the month that tells us we must do this introspecting. We must prepare ourselves up until we get to Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. We reach the holiest day of our year. So now is the time. Now is the time our calendar teaches us to re-soul, to work on that. Whether it's an extra soul you get on Shabbat or it's the soul you're carrying around every day. It needs our love, it needs our attention, and it needs our intention. So let's do this. Let's let our religion be like soap. We have to use it in order for it to make a difference. You can also teach this to your children about washing their hands, but for us, it's about how we put our tradition into practice. So let's start by putting our tradition into practice by singing just that ending part of the verse, that last third line. And if you're looking for the words like I am, they're in our prayer books. They're on a page. You know that the page numbers still get me. We're on page 22. 22. For the words of Vishamru, we are the people of Israel, and we keep Shabbat, and we observe Shabbat in every generation. And it is a covenant between us and God for all time. And on Shabbat, God rested and was re-souled. And so on Shabbat, so too will we rest and work on re-souling ourselves.
Vishamru ובני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם, ברית עולם ביני ובין בני ישראל, אותי לעולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים והארץ, וביום השביעי שבת, שבת ויהי נפש, שבת, שבת ויהי נפש, שבת, שבת ויהי נפש.
May we rest and may we be resold. And it takes a little work, but may we be willing to do that work. Use our tradition to make ourselves and our world a better place. Let's all say to that, amen.
Amen.